This is going to be a short video on how to make your own anti-flicker device for Jeep JK factory replacement LED fog lights, or if you hook any type of LEDs to the factory fog light wiring, basically. I would show you a video of the flicker, but the flickering happens so fast, and I just don't have the frame rate on this camera that you can't even notice it on camera. But I'm going to show you how to make your own instead of spending a whole bunch of money. The KC highlights come with wiring so you can plug directly into your Jeep. This plugs into a wiring harness that comes off of the KC highlights, and then this plugs into your factory wiring. Pull your sleeving off, and you've just got some wire here. Let me try to get you a better angle so you can see what I'm going to do here. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go about in the middle of the wire, take my wire strippers, strip it a little bit like you just saw there, and then come over a little bit further on the other side, strip it back the other direction. And after you've got that little bit stripped on each side, take something like a razor knife, just cut down the middle, try not to cut the wire, then peel off the insulation. Do that on both your positive and your negative, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, got that done on both. I mean, you could easily just cut this in half if you wanted to, but I just prefer doing it like that. Then you're going to need a capacitor. They're 4700 ultra farad. You can get them at Radio Shack, and they were $5.49 a piece. Two of them after tax was $11.80. I've seen a lot of people use the 6800 for like their headlights and stuff like that, but I found using this 4700 actually works fairly well for the smaller fog lights. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to take this capacitor, just going to solder that in there, and then make sure you weatherproof the crap out of it, because these things are not weatherproof whatsoever. After you've soldered your capacitor in, you should have something like this. I'm going to weatherproof this in multiple stages. You could use electrical tape to tape around that if you want. I happen to have some liquid electrical tape, and I'm just going to paint it over all of the exposed, and I might even paint it over the capacitor itself. And then I've got some big heat shrink tubing. I'm going to heat shrink it. Then, after you've made a complete mess with heat shrink and liquid black tape and solder and regular black tape, these are the finished homemade anti-flicker devices. I just used some 1-inch heat shrink tubing, and of course 1-inch heat shrink tubing won't shrink down against 2 wires, so I just filled in the gap with some RTV black. Made sure it was packed in there, wiggled the wires around and stuff so it coated all the way around the wires, and sealed it off. And once that dries, that'll be weatherproof, because these connectors are already waterproof. And those are your homemade anti-flicker devices.